Hey, trendsetters. I am here with the trendsetter. Oh my goodness. This is my nephew. I mean, he's Canarsie president. I always say,
Um,
hey, he's going to be the next president of the United States. And when you find out what this young man has been doing in our community, oh my gosh, he's the man. He's so dope. He's so dope. He's so dope. This is
Thank
a
you. I
young
appreciate
man that I'm so proud of. I'm so proud. Mom and dad, you're going to take a look at this. Oh, you did a phenomenal
it.
job. I thank you so much for lending
Thank
us your son. He's doing his
you.
thing. Oh my goodness. Let me stop. Let me stop. Let me stop. Let me talk to you let me talk to the viewers about who you are. And then we just
Thank
going
you.
to talk. We just going to chop it up. There's some things that, we need to talk about, right?
Mm.
And the reason why you doing all of this. So let me start. This is the founder, CEO, exec over there at the Flossy organization. And the Flossy organization, I mean, they're doing so many dynamic things. They're doing an anti-gun violence. Every time somebody's there, here, Jibreel is at the forefront. I've run into him at so many different events, both
Okay.
fortunate events and unfortunate events. And, he's just definitely out there on the forefront for anti-gun violence. We got to stop. We got to stop. We're going to talk about this. Let me continue to introduce him. He's also, my goodness, he's also won the Barack Obama Foundation Presidential Student. I don't even know how to say it. It's just,
Yeah.
you
Oh
so
man.
dope. I'm so amazed. That's such a
Thank you.
great,
Thank you.
great,
Thank you.
great,
Thank you. Thank you. Man, it means a
oh
lot.
my goodness.
Thank you.
The
Thank you. Thank you.
president, how do you say it? You say it so I don't mess it up
Yeah,
again.
it's called the Obama Scholars Program at Columbia University.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Thank you. Thank
And
you.
you actually got
Massive.
to meet President
Right, right.
Obama.
Yeah, yeah. Last month. It's crazy. I still can't believe it. It's
Oh
crazy.
my goodness.
Oh,
Oh my goodness. I mean, you the man that's trying to get the pier to Canarsie. I mean,
gotta
you
get it. We're gonna get it. Some
We
way,
gotta
somehow, we
get
gotta get
it.
it.
They try to dump some toxic waste over there by us, and you
Right,
shut
right,
it
right.
down.
They
You
try to
shut
play
it
it.
down. I mean, you the man. That's all I can say.
Nah,
And
it's a
again
community.
and
It's a
again and
community.
again, I just
I
want to continually support you. We
thank you,
talked
thank
about it a little while ago that we showing up for you,
thank you.
Jabril. We
Nah,
showing up
it
for you.
happened. Yeah, nah, it happened.
We was on the basketball court with you.
Right,
Was
right. The cleanup,
inside
right. The first
we there.
cleanup.
We showing up with you in the
Happened.
cold. We in the cold with
Right,
you.
right, right.
We showing up with you because you're doing a lot of great, great things. And
Thank
there's another thing that I want to mention
you.
that you're trying to get this community center
We're
in
working on it. We're working on it. Yeah,
so,
we are
I'm
working on
all
it.
with it. That's how we met. I told you that I
Yes,
was
yes,
trying to
yes,
get a
yes, yes,
community
yes.
center out in
Finally,
Canarsie. I'm jumping on your back. You jumping
finally
on
come.
mine. We're going to
Yeah.
carry one another until we get this
Now
done.
we are.
Okay, we're going to yell
We
at
have
some
to.
people. We're going to kick down some doors because enough is enough. I'm not writing a 300-page proposal for you to
Right.
get stuff done. I need you to understand that this is important.
Hmm.
And I need you to back this project. Canarsie needs a community center.
Amen, amen,
You
amen,
know, and
amen,
and
amen,
and
amen.
that's just what it is. If we got to drag the whole of Canarsie to knock on some doors, we gonna do
Right,
it.
right,
We gonna do it. We're gonna
right. We
do it.
gotta be
Because
outside
enough is
City
enough.
Hall.
Enough is enough. And I said enough.
Yeah,
Now,
no, that's an
let me
amazing
ask you a
intro. Oh my,
question.
I don't want to speak. I feel like you already said it all. I'm like, I'm a little ball high.
Let me ask you a question, nephew. Let me ask you a question. Um, it it wasn't easy getting there. The road to all of this success, to all of what you're doing, is a road that wasn't easy for someone our age, far less for someone your age. You
Hmm.
know, what was that like? What was that like? Can you tell our viewers, what was it like to push through when it was hard?
Well, first off, thank you, Heidi. Thank you, trendsetters. I also really appreciate what y'all doing of uplifting folks around and in the community that's doing dope stuff.
Thank you. Thank
So it's
you.
an honor to be, I always rock with you, Heidi, and what y'all trying to do. So it's an
That's
honor to
how
be
it is.
on. Yeah, so you said a lot of highs that you shared, but it is true. It did take some time to get the momentum that we got. But the truth and honest answer to that is that we're building on what folks already been fighting for years. For example, the ferry. I know at least 7 years folks has been pushing for that. We just came on the scene and helped to accelerate and boost that. Community center. We had the dilapidated, rundown, old, closed up movie theater. Folks have been talking about turning that to community center for how long? So what we're saying is not, different or new per se. We're just bringing a different style and energy and strategy that how we're tackling it. So whether it be the community center, whether it be the anti-gun violence movement, we definitely stand on shoulders of giants who have been fighting that fight for a long
Oh, that's a
time.
wonderful thing for you to say.
So, anytime we feel quote unquote down or we don't get the response that we're looking for, we know this is a continuation of a very long journey. And we know it's Martin Luther King weekend. We can even go back decades, not
Oh
just a
my
couple of
goodness.
years. So we know we're part of a continuation of a long story.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
that's what kind of keeps us going because we can't complain. All the tools we have now to get the word out there and all of that, with social media and all of that, we got it easier than folks had it before. We still catching it hard, but we can never like hang our heads if when things get hard. So yeah, what keeps me going is really just the support, knowing we're part of a larger story. A lot of folks come before us who've been fighting. And just to take it way back, the name Canarsie itself, we know is one of the tribes, the Lenape, Poro Lenape crew, and all of that of the land that we're on. So we can even take it hundreds of years back, in terms of fighting for justice and all that. So, we can never hang our heads. We just got to keep fighting harder.
Oh my goodness. Now you see why trendsetters, this man is going to be the next president.
Not me, not me, not me.
Uh, talk to us about some of the projects. I know that I did mention
Mhm.
most of the things that you have worked on, but talk to us about that. I just barely mentioned, I threw it out there, but let's talk. Let's talk about what it is. Let's break it down so our viewers could really understand and support you. It shouldn't be just 10 of us out there, is what I'm saying.
Right, right. So I think one thing that we did most recently is we did a rally last Friday, pushing for a community center. As I said, this is part of a long build up. When we first started in 2021, our first anti-gun violence rally was at Bayview Houses for Jameer Jones, a teenager who lost his life there. And we launched a campaign then calling for a Cure Violence site. For folks who aren't familiar, Cure Violence is a program that's been in the city for a couple years now. And it's based on catchment zones. And those catchment zones, there's one in East New York, there was one in Brownsville, there was one in East Flatbush. But for years, that investment wasn't in Canarsie. So
Mm.
after Jameer was fatally struck, we came out to call for that program to be brought to Canarsie. And last summer, 2 years later, with the help of our coalition and of course Councilmember Mercedes Narcisse, was able to get 1.6 million in the city budget for that cure violence site. That money should be dispersed any week now to the cure violence provider. And the way that model works essentially is that they hire folks from the community to become violence interrupters, people who go out, connect with folks who may be, caught in gang life or you name it, try to get ahead of the violence and connect them to resources and things of that nature. But now that we have that program, uh, the provider doesn't necessarily have a home. They don't have a necessarily a place to operate. So that money, that work, we're gonna need a place for that. And the type of work that they do, connecting people to jobs and
Mm.
holding mediation services when things are about to pop off, bringing both sides into a room, they don't necessarily have a place to do that work. So this year, we started off this year aggressively to say, all right, it's time to get the next phase of public safety. We got the programmatic investment. We need a lot more, but now let's try to find a home for these programs or whatnot. So we came out call for a community center a little bit more in terms of the scope is that we realize that they're building $141 million center in East Flatbush right this second. I believe it's
Wow.
slated to open either later this year or definitely, I think, by next year. And then the mayor, I want to say 2 years ago, a year ago, came out and called for $160 million investment into Brownsville, including their community center. And we don't even have one. So
Right.
that's also part of the scope and the narrative. Similar to the Cure Violence site, communities that border Canarsie are getting this investment, but we're asking again, what about us? And
Right.
that's just a little bit of the push and the story and the background of how we're trying to move forward.
Let's talk about some of these events that you've had that help to
Mhm.
promote, wellness and community within our community. I know that you just had the basketball
Right.
tournament, over at
Yeah.
Building C, 3 days anti-gun violence. How was that? How was that? Talk to us about it.
Yeah, so first off, shout out to the partners. It wasn't just the Flossy. We had some incredible partners. Sesame Flyers, who's a nonprofit that operates out of Biloxi, of course, Excel Charter School, I-68, and the Eagles, and Principal Williams, the superintendent, and a bunch of course, all the coaches, including Coach Jo, who's big. It was a huge event with a
Oh,
lot of
wow.
partners. So people might see the Flossy and think, we just did it, but that's definitely not the case. And of course, DYCD sponsored a lot of it in terms of the jerseys and some of the food and all of that. But we chose that location in October of last year and a
Mm.
little bit of September. There was two separate incidents and three teens shot in a couple weeks span. So there was a teenager actually shot where we did the rally on last Friday, that was shot and passed away. So a teenager lost their life on the basketball court outside of Biloxi, and that's just unacceptable. So I think about a week after that shooting, we did a town hall in Tbilisi, and one of the main things that came out of that is that we need to continue programming. We need to continue getting these young folks involved. So after that town hall, we started, tossing around ideas. What could we do? What is something we can get the youth involved, and also think about healing a little bit. That's a lot to have three
Yeah.
teens shot in 2 days, one fatally. It's a lot on the community in just one concentrated area. So we held a 3 day event. One day was the rally, and then we did some workshops after that. And then Saturday or Sunday, brought together, over 100 kids to come out to Tbilisi to have some fun, and also did some workshops with cure violence
Wow.
providers, TMK, Man Up, to talk about gang activity, things like that, but also some healing. But it was a beautiful event. We ended on Sunday with shout out to Shoot for the Stars Foundation and Miss Jackson and Obasi Pop Smoke's family for coming out and presenting the trophy. But it was really just an event to talk about healing, to talk about more investments that we need in terms of the community center. It was like a multi-pronged approach of what we was trying to do, having some just fun with young folks, some competition. So it was a great event, well executed. Thanks to all the sponsors and partners, and PD also supported in terms of safety and all of that. And we're planning to have it again at some point in the future. But yeah, that was the idea. It originated really from that shooting that happened in October,
Hmm.
town hall that we had subsequently. Some ideas and seeds were planted to see how we could
Move
make
that
sure that,
forward.
yeah, we can just keep this momentum in terms of calling from some real investments that's actually going to help stop it. And one thing that was really tough, literally 2 hours after our rally on Friday, there was a shooting a block away. Two
Right.
shootings actually. One
Right.
shooting, a 57-year-old woman was hit
Right.
on 80
81st.
81st, yeah,
Yeah.
81st and Flatlands.
Hmm.
And then a man was shot coming out of a corner store after he was
Right.
approached by police
Right.
on East 80th. So
Yeah.
I don't know how much more of a sign that we need, that we're calling for these investments to say, hey, we need this to happen. And one of the messaging of the rally was, usually we do actions and the attention comes and all that happens after a shooting. When we held that rally, there hadn't been a shooting in Canarsie for this year yet, and we only got ahead of it by a couple hours. So, call us crazy, but we're calling for these things, and it keeps happening and happening, but you're not seeing the urgency or the investments follow. So, there's a lot more to do. And we're planning on some more stuff coming up soon. But that was the event. So a lot happened. It was a busy weekend, but a lot more work ahead, of course. And of course, thanks to everyone that came out, the players, the coaches, and whatnot.
Um, you mashed a corn toe when you started talking about particular incidences of gun crime that happened within this past weekend. And it's been a constant in Canarsie. I was tippy-toeing around this, but you know that
Mm,
I have an anti-gun violence initiative of my
mm,
own, and you see
right.
me. We've had trendsetters talks, segments where we've spoken to mothers that have lost children due to
Mm,
gun
mm,
violence, and we've. I've had so many of these discussions now with people that live right here in Canarsie
mm,
that I'm starting to get it very irritable.
mm,
I have my son goes to South Shore and he's
mm,
telling me that there's incidents where guns are being shot outside while he's trying to
mm.
do his work.
Great.
There's no way that he can block that out or they can even understand how these kids are not feeling safe in our community. How can you want to walk out of the school where they was just busting shots? And I understand that that person was running down towards Building C, which is a junior high school a couple blocks away. That same incident spilled over there. So
Mm,
can you imagine? Can you imagine if any one of these kids
right.
just innocently would have walked into any of that? I mean, and we can go on. We both know how many people we've lost this year alone, how many mothers you and I both have spoken to.
Mm, mm, right. It's
And we just
insane.
talking in one community.
Right. Right. Yeah, it's insane.
When is enough going to be enough? We could talk about East New York. We could talk about Brownsville. We could talk about Bed-Stuy. We could talk about East Flatbush. When is enough going to be enough?
Mm.
You know,
Yeah,
there has to be some accountability somewhere.
it has to be. It has to be. Look.
There have to be some accountability somewhere. I mean, I'm gonna tell you what happened. You know that I talk to these kids and I have some initiatives of my own that we're gonna talk about, okay, and on and off. And it's I'm talking to these teens and they're telling me things like, and I'm telling them, I'm trying to motivate them, like, we got to do better. We got to get our minds to think differently. We got to embrace one another. And, enough is enough. We're not marching no more. We're not painting up any more murals. And I'm talking to their mothers and, da 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 da. And one of the young men said to me, he said, "What you talking about the murals?" I said, the paintings of the people that have transcended on the walls. He said, "What, our community legends?" And I had to take it back. And they're living to be idolized, dead on a wall.
Mm, crazy.
And we're acting like it's okay. I heard that lady got shot in the morning, catching a bus. They had her on the floor, taping tape around
Mm,
before the ambulance came to take her up. She was shot.
right.
You think that would have happened in anybody else's neighborhood?
Mm, yeah, a lot. The thing is, last year there was neighborhoods in New York without no shootings. Like,
There was neighborhoods in New York without any shootings, without any
mm,
shootings.
right. And we act like it's out of the realm of our imagination to get that in our
I
community.
mean, we could walk, we could drive 5 minutes away and be in one of those neighborhoods
Mm.
in Canarsie. You know where we at. So how come it's different? across the street, let's say.
Yeah. Yeah, we got it's a lot of work to do. It's a lot of
You
work to
know, I think that one of the things that I really appreciate about you is how much important it is for you to have the community come together in this thing.
do.
And I think that this is the reason why we support you the way that we do, because you realize it's not just a you thing,
Right, right.
it's a
Can't be.
we thing.
Yeah.
And I think that what's happened before in the past is that people plan their visions based on their visions
Mm,
and not what the community needs.
right.
So there are community-based organizations that have been trying to do certain things, but it doesn't eliminate the pain and the trauma that we've endured continuously and constantly. I think that what you're trying to do in the community is like you said, heal the community so that we can move on. And that's what we're trying to do at Trendsetters Talks. And
Right.
this
We
is
come
why
to
it's such a,
our piece. I think you said an important part. A lot of things, or virtually everything that we've pushed is from the community. I didn't wake up and say, "Oh man, we should have a community center. Oh man, we should have transit equity. Oh man, we shouldn't have a pesticide facility right next to our farmers market." I didn't come up with those ideas. It all came from the community. We just, you know, enabled, some action, sparked some energy to carry it on to help to try to bring those things to fruition. So yeah, that may be the defining factor of what we're doing a bit differently, but we're organizers. We work with the community to bring about this change, and yeah, we're excited for the future. One of the things that we're working hard on is to train folks so they can go out and run campaigns of their own. So we know a little bit of something about running campaigns, but if the vision works out how we're planning it, is that as the Flossy grows, we're bringing up cohorts of other people who know how to make some noise, who know how to generate change and all that. So we got that working on the back end too. So bringing it to the front end. So we got some special things planned and we're working on it.
like I said, we got some things, that we've been talking about ourselves, so it's time, at least now, that we can have certain conversations and, on how we can collaborate on certain efforts.
Right.
And well, we've been doing it all along,
Yeah. Yeah, but
yeah, we've been
yeah,
doing it all along.
yeah.
There's nothing new for us, but I want to thank you for giving us your time. There's so much that we can continue to talk about. One thing I did want us to talk about, what was equally important, is the reasons why you wanted to have the peer, not you,
Hmm.
but it's something that Kanasi has wanted for a long time,
Right.
right? We're like a five fair zone.
Insane. It's insane.
It takes some of us 2 hours to get back and
Right.
forth in transportation, or kind of, I mean,
Yeah. It's wild.
it's wild. It's wild. I had a young man tell me, my girlfriend can't even come to visit. We got me halfway.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's a hike. Most of us are coming from school and work at that
Mm,
time of night, and you know, we just got to make it better. We got to make it better. All the communities deserve better. But one of the things, Jabril, I want us to understand is, just as much as we're asking for help, we have to help one another.
that's true. That's true.
We have to grow in the community with the community. The community has to step up and get more involved. And, we may be knocking on the right doors, but sometimes there's power in numbers. So we got to get the community involved. And sometimes things aren't clear because you surviving. And when you in survival mode, you kind of miss certain things,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
right? So you gotta pay your mortgage, you gotta the kids, you gotta bills, you gotta taxes, you got so you on this perpetuating cycle of locking in and getting things done that you
Mm-hmm.
kind of go blinded. You can't get off that track. However, things are serious. We got food insecurity on top of the prices of food going up. You know what time it is. We got illiteracy rates going up.
Mm-hmm. Talk
We
about
got
it.
hospitals closing.
Yeah.
We got people literally dying all over our streets,
Mm-hmm.
getting killed, gunned down, murdered.
Mm-hmm.
Let's call it for what it is. We got a nice little demure term nowadays, unalived. We're not cute and we're not disguising this thing. This thing is traumatizing our communities.
Mm-hmm.
Our kids can't go outside and play in the park. How many times you heard an 11-year-old get shot? In the park, by the park, standing outside the schoolyard. Somebody told me, bullet don't have no name.
Nah, no eyes, no name, nothing. Nothing.
You know, we can go on and on and on about why we're here and the real reason why we're here, sitting here, even tonight. Because we got to get the community more involved in what needs to get done. It's
Yeah.
not even a what we're doing. It's a what we as a community need to get done. We got
Yeah.
to start showing up for one another, with one another. That's the only way we're going to recognize one another
Right.
as a community because we're showing up at community stuff. That's how I met you.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
And that's how I meet most of the people that is coming on trendsetters, community stuff.
Yeah.
They
Now
got people
you be
out there
outside.
doing things.
Yeah, you be outside. You be outside. I can't
I'll
lie.
be outside. I'll be outside. Now look, don't get twisted with these gray
I
hairs.
know, I know, I
Don't
know.
worry, when I get in
You
the house, my legs be done.
active. You active. You
But if
active.
he worked it, I'll be right back out there the next day.
Right, right, right. Hey, you really care. That's why I
Y'all
appreciate what
keeping
you're
me
doing.
young, but sometimes it's the best of things, and then sometimes, whoo, y'all be pulling out the old auntie all day. We got to do better, people. And, thank you, Jibreel. Thank you. Thank you for
Of
making
course.
it make sense, trying to help us, you know, making it easier for us to pass the torch.
Mhm.
You know, it's hard work, as you said, but we got your back.
Thank you. Thank you.
We got your back.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah,
We know that you out there. We know you trying. This is a hard job. You up against a lot. We all in it together.
we are. That's the only way we're gonna make it happen. We
That's the
need,
only way we're going to make it happen. And I'm not talking about us as an organization. I'm talking about us as a community. The
yes.
only way we're going to make this happen is if we stand together and make it happen. We got to come together. And like you said, you know, great minds. You got to put your minds together. We got to have conversations. And that's what Trendsetters Talks is about.
Mm.
Maybe after this, some more people will get involved with the Flossy organization. And that's what I'm hoping. That's why I asked you to come on.
Thank you. Thank you.
So that more people could get involved, more people could get curious. Where can people find you?
Yeah, we're on Instagram at the Flossy. You can follow us at the Flossy, the website, theflossy.org. We have an action page. You can fill out that form and get into our system or add you to our newsletter. And then you'll also be, in our system when we do things, we reach out. Yeah, so those are the two best places I would say, our Instagram, and then you can go on our website on our action page to sign up and see what we're doing. Again, the page is theflossy.org. That's the website. And then our Instagram is @theflossy.org. Yeah.
Okay, and you send me the flyers all the time. I'll
Right.
post the flyers on
Thank you.
Instagram and Facebook on my grandma's size.
Thank you, thank you. Well, wait, when is this? When do you think this one is going up? You want me to can send you a flyer? We have something on the 25th in the library. We're doing like our next assembly, civic
All
assembly.
right, so what I'll do for you is if it doesn't go up by the 25th, I'll shout it out. I'll
Okay.
do an infomercial for you and
Yeah.
tag you to it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Little infomercial. Y'all gotta get out there to to the
All right.
library. You're gonna be at the library, right?
Yeah, we have a Canarsie
All
Library.
right,
Yep.
all right, all right. I'm gonna
25th.
shout you out. You said the 25th. Let me put
Yeah,
it right
25th.
down.
Oh, you got
Shout
your
you out
camera
real
over there. I see you. I see you.
quick.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you for
Definitely,
always for the support.
it's
Shout out
been
to
an honor.
Trendsetters, talking about the important stuff that's going on, highlighting all the good work that's going on in the community, bringing some positivity because it's not always negative. We have a really great community. It's a lot of champions, a lot of great news, a lot of great talent coming out of Canarsie. But we know the potential is high, so we're trying to work to meet it.
Yes, 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 yes. I'm loving that sweatshirt.
Yeah,
That's
got
right.
some
That's
swag
your.
for
I
20.
get it. I get it. That's when you on these Zooms and these
Yeah,
podcasts.
it's a
Yeah,
little,
yeah, yeah.
it's
Don't worry.
have it simple.
Trendsetters talk.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Next
Right,
next
right, right.
time
Yeah.
you
Keep
see
it simple,
me.
keep it light, Keep it simple, keep it
I
light.
got it. I like the little merchant, but whoever's doing your merchandise, oh my goodness. Oh
Yeah,
my
shout out
goodness.
to, of course,
The
I forgot
Flossie
to
got it
shout out to
going
the
on.
team. Shout out to every, I don't want to,
Your team is boss. Your team,
yeah,
you got it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, shout out to the
I mean, your
team.
people are good people. Your people are
Yeah,
good people.
yeah, yeah.
Good
No,
job. Well,
team is amazing.
you know how to lead, Mr. President. You know
Nah,
how to
nah, nah.
lead,
It's
Mr. President.
collective,
You know how
collective action, collective action. They
to.
make me look good. We gotta try to get them more in front of the camera.
I guess it's one love. It's one love. It's one love. It's one love.
Right.
Well, let's wrap. It was great talking to you,
Thank you
and
so much.
we definitely, definitely, definitely we'll do it again. We're gonna do it again. This won't be the
Yes,
first
yes,
time.
yes,
And
yes.
anytime you got something to say,
Mm-hmm.
call me and say, "Yo,
I
Heidi,
know
we
where to
gotta
go.
run the camera. We gotta
I
do what we
know
gotta do."
where-
Okay. Anytime that you got something to say, because when you was driving in your car, you was very animated. I wish we had a trendsetters then. You,
Yeah, I
I know you
try to
saw.
do my
I know
little
you like
TikTok
me.
stuff on the
Sometimes you
move.
get fed up. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Sometimes
try
you
to do
get
my
fed up.
little TikTok stuff on the move. But yeah, let's see what happens. I think TikTok got what, 3 more hours before they shut it down? I don't know. So it's like 9 on Saturday, and they say it's
Oh
gonna
my
shut down 3 more.
gosh.
We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Well, somebody gonna pick it up. That's
Right, right. There's always something.
yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah. All
Yeah.
right. Take care,
Yeah.
nephew. You be blessed. It's
Thank you
been an
so
honor.
much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Heidi. Shout out Trendsetters. Peace.
Peace.